Hey guys, I am making some homemade Amish friendship bread. So I've already mixed all the ingredients up and I've let it rise. This is its first rise. So now what I need to do is I need to knead it for 3 to 5 minutes and then put it in the loaf pans and then let it rise again. So there's 2 rises. And then I want to bake it for about 30 minutes. I'd say about 20 minutes into the baking, I take some aluminum foil and I put it over the top of the bread so it doesn't brown the top anymore. I like to have the top just lightly browned, but not very much. So I want to go ahead and show you the first rise of the dough, and then I'm going to go ahead and knead it for the 3 to 5 minutes. So you're going to be watching me knead for 3 to 5 minutes. And then I'm going to put it in the loaf pans, and then we're going to do a second rise. So this is the dough right here. This is the first rise. So what you want to do is you want to punch it. And we're just going to put it right there on the cutting board. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and knead it for 3 to 5 minutes. Now, in this process, the 3 to 5 minutes, this is the time that you can actually add herbs or any kind of seasonings that you want, because then you're going to be kneading it and mixing it into the dough. Now, it does not hurt to go over the 3 to 5 minutes because actually the longer you knead the bread, the nicer and lighter it's going to be. The less you knead it, the denser it's going to be. Going to add a little bit more flour. Show you here. Now you want to make sure that you have a wet rag. Now I have my loaf pans here, and instead of putting flour in there, I took breadcrumbs and I just put the breadcrumbs in there. It actually tastes really good, and it makes it doesn't make it, it doesn't clump up. It's really nice. And with this bread, to make it, you need 2 cups of water at about 115 degrees, no hotter, otherwise you'll kill the yeast. You want to put 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, or 1 packet of yeast, whichever you use. I use the yeast, here I'll show you. I use this yeast instead of the packets, and I always keep it in my refrigerator because it makes it last longer. Okay, so anyway, it was 2 cups of water at 115 degrees, no hotter, otherwise you'll kill the yeast. 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. You're going to mix that, and 1 2/3 cup of sugar. Now, I did it the first time, and the 2/3 cup was a little bit too sweet, so I just added, I think it may have been a half. Yeah, about that. So I made it a little bit sweeter, so I never should have. So you can actually put less sugar. So again, with all my rambling, let's go back to the beginning. 2 cups of hot water. Well, 2 cups of water at 115 degrees, no hotter. 1½ tablespoons of yeast and a 1/2 cup of sugar. Take the 1/2 cup of sugar, put it in the water, and let it dissolve. And then add the yeast to that, and then set that aside. Let that bubble up and do its thing. I would say probably a good 15-20 minutes. So just let that go. After that, you're going to put in 1/4 cup of oil. You can use olive oil or you can use regular oil, just cooking oil. And you're going to use 1 tablespoon of salt. So then you're going to mix all that in to the yeast and water mixture. Once you get that dissolved, then you're going to take 6 cups of flour and you're going to put it in 1 cup at a time. So you're going to put 1 cup in, stir it, another cup, stir it, until you can get the whole 6 cups in there. Once that is done, you want to put a little bit of oil in your bowl and on your dough, and let it rise for about an hour to an hour and a half. Once you get that done, then we are at this process right here. You are going to take it out, put it on a cutting board with a little bit of flour. Make sure you have some flour on the side so you can keep adding it to the cutting board. That's just so the dough doesn't stick. So then once you get to the 3 to 5 minutes of the kneading, you're going to take it, you're going to cut it in half. Okay. We're going to take one at a time. And you're just going to make it into a loaf. So can you see how I'm doing that? I'm going to take it just like this. Okay. I think this one is going to be, this one here is going to be a lot bigger. I think so. I'm going to put it in. You're just going to go ahead and put that in there. So it's just like this. Okay. So now, once you put them in the containers, you want to set these to the side and you want to let these do a second rise. So you want these to rise about a 1/2 inch to an inch over the top of your baking dish. Okay, so now what I did was I took mine and I put them on top of my oven and I covered it with a towel. That way it can do its seconds rise because my oven is preheated at 350 degrees. So what I'll do right now is I'll go ahead and start with the ingredients all over again and go ahead and end this session, and then whenever they are done, then I will go ahead and show you what the finished product is. So it is 2 cups of water. Make sure it's hot water, no hotter than 115 degrees. You might want to get you a thermometer, that way it can tell you, but make sure it's no more than 115 degrees, otherwise you'll kill the yeast. You want to use 1 packet or 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. Then you want to take a half a cup of sugar, and take that half a cup of sugar, put it in your water, let that dissolve, and then you're going to let it set for a minute. And then you're going to add your salt and your oil, which earlier in the video, it shows you how to do it. So anyway, I'll go ahead and show you what the finished product is, and that's it. So you might want to try the bread. It's really good. Talk to you later. Bye.